Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Transformers: A Bold New Era, issue number 2. It's a fun comic. Still got criticisms, but it was still a really fun comic book. Let's get into all this good stuff, because, I got criticisms. Anyway, this was written by Brian Ruckley, art by Angel Hernandez and Cachet Whitman. Sorry, that's Whitman. Colors by Joanna Lafuente and Josh Burcham, and letters by John B. Long, which is one of the best porno names ever. I wonder what his real name is. Okay, I'm sorry. Just messing around, but somebody's messing around with him too. I'm just saying, John B. Long is the most porno name ever. All right? Okay, so aside from Pimp Daddy letterers, this comic book continued almost exactly where the previous issue left off. Actually, it did, pretty much exactly where. Windblade is there, Rubble is there, along with Bumblebee. Prowl shows up, and a couple others who are also in detective agency, police force kind of thing. And it's funny because they're talking about how Prowl is the best detective ever. The problem is that he rubs people the wrong way. Awesome. I'm glad to know that nobody's personality is necessarily changing. Because, yeah, that's Prowl in a nutshell. The comment that they made about him, yeah, if they if he didn't make so many bumps, he'd have my job. If he didn't make so many dents in people, then he'd have my job. So that's cool, man. And that could, of course, mean many things. Maybe he's rubbing people the wrong way. Maybe he's actually beating up on people. Either way, I think that matches with Prowl pretty damn well. In my opinion, better than making him a combiner. Just saying. Yes, I heard about that. So all things being what they are, the comic book goes on with Rubble learning about a couple different things. He hangs out with Wheeljack for a little while. He and Bumblebee do a little bit of work. And they they move on and they see one of the moons is actually like a solar sail, but it's an energy sail, if you will. They make the comment that it's in a geostationary orbit. That's not entirely wrong, but it is more correct to say it's in a geosynchronous orbit. Sorry, guys, electrical engineer. It's what I did. Nowadays, I'm an English teacher because I'm retired. But the point is, geostationary, geosynchronous actually means about the same thing. The trick is geostationary kind of feels deceptive because it's indicating that stationary over top of the Earth, but that's not true, or whatever planet you're on, Geo, Earth, your planet. Anyway, what do you call it? The trick is if it was geostationary, that means it would somehow have to be flying back and up a little bit so as to, maintain its escape from the Earth's orbit and not go into free fall, which would involve it bouncing off of the atmosphere. Anyway, meanwhile, the planet itself is moving. Geosynchronous means it's synchronized with the Earth. Now, it doesn't mean it's going the same speed as the Earth. It's got to be going a lot faster. Because it's going the same speed at the Earth, well, then it's, the Earth is going to go a lot faster, and the clock would hit once every time it went around, as opposed to twice every time it went around, which is what it would be if it was truly geostationary. Think about the big hand on your, or the little hand, whatever, on your clock. Yeah. Anyway, so geosynchronous means that it's going a lot faster than the Earth, and it's calculated so that, or your planet, so that it'll always be over one particular point. We will always have certain satellites over top of almost every particular point on the Earth. That's how we have GPS functional all the time. Some will go faster, some will go slower. It's one of the ways to make sure we have proper triangulation. Anyway, can you tell that's actually what I did in my history? What do you call it? So of course, you just mentioned that stuff, and right away I'm like, yep, science, go! Especially with Wheeljack, baby. Especially with Wheeljack. Me and Wheeljack would hang the hell out. You know what I'm saying? I had people compare me to Transformers. You would definitely be Prowl. Yes, because of my military background, I would probably be Prowl. That being said, I would totally be hanging out with Wheeljack the entire time. Here's one of the things I didn't like about the comic book. The pacing, way off. It was not in geosynchronous orbit with Cybertron. The previous issue was very slow. I'm cool with that. It's the first issue. It's technically exploring a past that we've never explored before. And I haven't read all the IDW Transformers books. I'm more of a Marvel Transformers fan. But I have indeed read the many of the comic books for IDW. Just, it is what it is, including Regeneration, which is the reiteration. What have you now? This comic book continued on with Rubble learning more, hanging out with Wheeljack. It was very cool. And then it went into the speech. I was really anxious for the speech until the speech actually happened. I was more looking forward to the speech than reading the actual speech. Sounds weird, like, what is it, Marked for Death, I think it was, or Hard to Kill. I think Hard to Kill, Steven Seagal. He only had, a couple of good movies. Anyways, besides Under Siege. At the one point, fear of death is worse than death itself. Yeah, it's the anticipation of death. You know what I'm saying? It's scary. The anticipation of pain. What have you. The comic book didn't feel paced right. Now, I don't write the comic books. I just read the damn things. But my opinion on the comic book, nonetheless, is that it should have decided, did the comic book want to go fast or did it want to go slow? Because if it's going to go slow, I'm down with reading it going slow. I would have been totally comfortable if we could have put off the speech until the next issue. Or if this issue was the speech. And I'm talking like the first half or so of the comic book devoted to the speech. Even if that means you have to do only 2 panels, maybe splash pages per page. I feel that the comic book should have focused an awful lot more on the speech itself because it was so built up in the previous issue. I mean, with, Orion Pax, who looks just like Optimus Prime, like exactly like freaking Optimus Prime Power Masters, I feel like it should have been delayed until the 3rd issue. Or just do it in this issue and forget about all the extra stuff in here. Personally, I would have preferred the former. I would have preferred that they had all the extra stuff in here and then some. More chilling out, more relaxing, more, hey, excuse me, I would have liked to see that Optimus Prime doesn't just go by hologram and talk to Prowl or whatever, or whoever he was talking to about, hey, it wasn't Prowl, it's the other person there, we should probably delay the speech, but it would probably be a bad idea to delay the speech. If they find out about it, it's going to be really big thing, so keep it on a hush-hush. And yeah, I think it would have been better if there was more built around that, and then next issue would have been the speech. And then the whole assassination attempt, which doesn't look like a real assassination attempt. Sorry, I'm sitting here looking at this comic book, and it's like, Megatron looks like he was totally prepared for all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, just come on, man. Like, who dares? I think somebody who's able to blow out several walls is probably able to do more than just ting-ting against Megatron. Just saying. So I feel like this was staged. I feel like it could have been staged better. I feel like this could have been done a whole lot better, but it felt rushed. I was so happy thinking that next issue is going to be that the speech, and all of this issue is just going to be the build-up for it. Yeah, that would have been better. Especially, like, there's some things they pointed about. The folly of the Nominous Edict. That sounds like something I should know about. If they already talked about the Nominous Edict in previous issues of the Transformers, before the Bold New Era thing, okay, cool, I don't want to know about it. I enjoy the idea of being fresh into this comic book. And this comic book should be fresh. This should be a jumping on point for everybody, all right, or a continuation point for everybody else. Going back in time like this feels perfect to me. But they need to get their pacing better, my opinion. They need to get the pacing down. Do they want this to rush like what happened in here after the previous issue was so slow? Or do they want to make it so that, they time all the crazy adrenaline? Because I think that would have been a whole lot better. I would have much preferred to be at the edge of my seat waiting for the speech in the next issue, 2 weeks from now. I would have much preferred that. Anyway, this was still a fun comic book. Just that. And for me, that's actually kind of a big one. If all of these are variant covers, I'm sad that, like I got this one. I believe this is the main cover. Let me see the back. Yes, this is the main cover. But like that would have been a pretty damn cool cover, man. That would be awesome. And they got a whole bunch of, they're showing off. This is the main cover, but the Virgin page without the dressing and all that good stuff. This one over here is just gorgeous. This looks like he's about to fight some Predacons. You know what I'm saying? Anybody remember that from the old Marvel days? About to fight them Predacons. Predaking, gonna whoop his booty. And just, yeah, a whole bunch of good stuff in here. The Synergy thing, that looks cool. I'm really hoping to see, and Cybertron Daily Departures. This is cool also. Hope that we get the Visionaries back. I hope we get a whole bunch of good stuff back. Anyway, I see this going places. Again, my biggest issue, the pacing. All right, guys. Fun comic book. You should definitely still consider jumping on it. You want to wait until the trade paperback? That's on you. I don't think it's going to hurt one way or the other. This does feel like it's going to be slow with the fast things. Just kind of, okay, we're going to go back to the slow now. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.